Okay. Why don't you, the two of you, introduce yourselves first, and then we'll go.
My name is Yusuf Basuni. I'm from Chicago, Illinois. I'm a sophomore, intended to major in MIS.
Mm-hmm.
How's it going, guys? My name is Jake Hurst. I'm a junior here. I'm studying entrepreneurship. I'm the president of the club RoundNet team, Spikeball, and also involved with Young Life.
Wait, you're president of what club?
Spikeball. You ever seen it like on the beach? Yellow RoundNet game.
Oh yeah, all right, that's cool. Yeah. Oh, a club for everything. All right. Hey, what do you guys know? What do you think we know about discrimination? What do you guys know about discrimination? And we're going to talk about really anywhere, but you can talk mostly about the U.S. right now, but, you know. What do you know? What do you think about? When you hear the word, where does your mind go?
I guess like generally to explain, it's like putting down a certain group or maybe putting a disadvantage on a certain group.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean, in a sense?
Does it have to be a group or it could be individuals?
I guess it could be individuals as well. It could be many things: men, women, gender, religion, race.
But when you think about it, you really think a lot about groups.
Yeah.
Jake, how about you? Like, where does your mind go?
Yeah, my mind just jumped to like people not being treated equally.
Equally or fairly?
Equally.
Nia, what's the difference between equally and fairly? Because they seem different to me.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe they're not different for you. That's fine. Doesn't.
Fairly, like it sets it to like a standard, or I guess both have like a standard of like an expectation of you're supposed to be treated in a certain way.
Yeah, I guess as I think about it, I think, okay, equally would just be like, the two of you I would treat equally on certain criteria.
Yeah.
Right? And fairly would be, yeah, it's kind of a different thing, but okay, all right, that's good. How much discrimination is there? Jake, what do you think? Like when you think out, you know, when you look out over this room and then you think about Yusef and, you know, how much discrimination do you think there is?
Good question. It depends to what you're looking for.
Hold the mic close.
Yeah, sorry. So I like to think about it as how if I set my eyes on something, I'm going to look for all the evidence to back like discrimination. But if you set your eyes on something else, then you're not going to ultimately look for the evidence in that and look for the eye. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay, I got you. So there's as much discrimination as we look. If we look for it, we're going to see it.
Yeah.
If we don't look for it, we won't see it.
But it's definitely out there.
It's out there.
Yeah.
How much do you think it occurs? We just, think about like your own life, right? Are you Christian or Muslim?
I'm Muslim.
Okay, so you're this Egyptian guy,
Yeah.
Egyptian American.
Yeah.
But you go back and forth to Egypt.
Yeah. Every year or so, or other years.
Okay, so you're Muslim. By the way, these are prayer beads that I got in Cairo, so we were talking about them. So when you think about discrimination, like how often is it happening?
To me, I don't really notice it too much. I mean,
do you think you're representative of everybody, or
no? I probably for the average male boy, or male, I haven't really experienced discrimination in a sense
that you know of.
That I know of, yeah.
Okay. And when people tell you that you're discriminating, if I were to be like, dude, come on, man, you do experience discrimination all the time, you would say what?
Give me an example. I mean, I don't really know.
All right, good. Yeah. All right, that's cool. So how do you? So one of the problems we have with discrimination is figuring out when and how much it occurs, right? This is it. And so both of you are saying, like, yeah, I don't really know. But if we're oftentimes when we're sitting around in groups of people, we start talking about things like this with the assumption that there is a certain level of it that we don't, but yet there are all these assumptions in place, and yet we don't have the data. You guys don't have the data, right? Have you ever studied discrimination? So you wouldn't know. So if you're hanging out, okay, all right, this is a thing, right? So people talk about these things all the time, right? Right now, with all of this conversation that we're having at the national level about DE&I and all this kind of stuff, there are assumptions that people are making that we're having conversations, because in the end, it's all about this, right? The only reason we care about DE&I is because of this. If it wasn't because of discrimination, nobody would be talking about any of this stuff, because we'd be treating everybody equally, and we'd be like, all right, whatever, who cares? Why would we have any of this nonsense, right? Okay, so now, let me show you a couple of things, right? Go to the first slide. Take a look at this. So college is worth less if you're raised poor. Look at the yellow line. So go on the left. That's your age. So over the course of your lifetime, so the two of you, let's just put you on the far left. You're going to get a college degree. Are your parents poor?
No.
Of course not. You're from Chicago and you're Egyptian. And you? Are your parents poor?
No.
Okay, so you're the top line there. So over time, that's what on average, your college is going to be worth that. Actually, it's going to be more, because this is looking in the past. But your line is going to be very similar. Okay? The top, the orange line. But look at the bronze one below that. If you got a college degree, and your parents were poor, that's how much your degree would be worth over time, on average. That's not everybody. Okay, there are some poor people whose degree, they get a college degree, and it's worth a lot of money. And some people whose parents have PhDs and MDs and God knows all sorts of other Ds, and they don't make a lot of money. All right? So, but on average, so you think something's going on, okay? What that tells me is what this tells me, right? When I look out in this classroom, and if I could divide us all up in terms of the poorest people and the wealthiest people, see, when the three of us are looking at it, everyone's equal, right? Everyone's equal. We're here at Penn State. Everybody has an opportunity. Mm-hmm. But what the sociologists are going to tell us is that, but if we can separate the poorest people, those people who grew up poor, they're here at Penn State, they have an opportunity. And we can separate the wealthiest people who are here at Penn State, they have an opportunity. The wealthy people are going to average that top line, and the poor people are going to average that second line. Do you ever thought about that? Like this, you know what I mean? Like, what's that mean for you? That, like, yeah, we all have a chance here. We all have an equal chance. Yeah, we do have an equal chance. But why is it that if this group over here, the poorest people in the classroom, whose parents are poor, right, compared to those people over there whose parents are rich, why are these people on average going to earn so much less money over their lifetimes if they have an equal chance as those people?
I guess the richer people would have an advantage, since they could have like a backup plan. They can maybe pursue another degree if it doesn't work out for them. But the poor people, for example, don't really have the financial freedom.
And some do.
Some,
but
yeah.
It's the average. Remember, it's averages.
Average, okay.
Jake, how is that for you? Like, this is sociology, right? How is that? Like, to me, it's my people. No one's going to just give you stuff because you're rich. You know what I mean? You're going to work just as hard as those people, and you're going to be in the top line, and they're going to be in the second line. And yet, when we talk about this stuff, we talk about it as though these people are equal to those people. And I'm like, the data are saying, like, actually, that's quite a huge difference. How is that for you as a guy who didn't grow up poor? And now suddenly you're going, oh, whoa, hang on a second. What? You can just say, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
But it makes you stop and think, right?
Oh, it makes me think for sure.
And it doesn't, and do you hear me saying these people should be given something? Do you think I'm saying that?
No, I don't. That's not what you're saying at all.
Okay. Do you think I'm saying that these people don't work as hard as those people?
That's not what you're saying at all.
Do you think I'm saying that if these people just work twice, just keep working harder and harder and harder, they're going to catch up with those people?
I don't think so.
No, because just as many of those people are going to work harder and harder and harder as these people. So it's like, you know. So all you can say, Yusuf, is like to these people, it's like, hey, congratulations for getting a Penn State degree. Good for you. And congratulations for going as far as you're going to go in life. Good for you. And for these people, congratulations for being born in families with a lot of money, because you'll make more money. That's what it is. That's the luck of the draw. So it's like, some of you won't. Some of you are going to be lazy. Some of you are going to be whatever. You just won't make as much money. Some of you are going to decide to be school teachers and not working on Wall Street. You're going to be a math teacher instead of a statistician on Wall Street. And like, okay, that's cool. Awesome. But in this, I want to say to the stream, what happens is we have this idea, we just keep hammering away that we're all the same, we're all equal, and we're not. And that's what we're trying to figure out. Okay, here, discrimination, right? Go to the next slide. Percent of people who say that discrimination has increased since the start of the Israel-Hamas war, okay? Among discrimination against Jews, against Muslims, against Arabs. Look at how Jewish people, 89% say like, oh yeah, discrimination has increased against us, more for us. And against Muslims say, yeah, no, we've experienced more discrimination against Muslims. And the Arabs, the same thing, right? So each group, we can't ask people, because people are going to pick out their own group. So if we want to know how much discrimination is happening, we can't just be like, hey, how about it? How's it for your group? People are going to tend to elevate their own group somehow. Like, oh yeah, we experience a lot of discrimination. Even though all three are true at some level, right? Okay, so we got to be careful there. You can't just ask people how much discrimination is there. Is that fair?
Totally fair.
Do you listen to people when they say they experience a lot of discrimination? Do you listen to them?
I try to seek understanding from where they're coming from.
Do you ever ask them for data?
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, you should. Do you ever ask for data? Give me evidence.
Yeah, I guess.
Dude, look at the Arabs, right? So you're an Arab. So you're like, hey, 64%. You ask, how is discrimination against Arabs? And Muslims, you're Muslim, so you're going to be like, oh yeah, I got it. You're more likely to say that, on average, right?
Yeah.
More than how about discrimination against Jews? Like, yeah, okay. So I'm like, huh. So you got to question yourself, because we're all going to distort this stuff. All right, here, let me show you another slide. Show here. You ever hear black people talk about driving while black and stuff?
Yeah.
A lot of cops think you're black.
That's actually a tough question for me. I battle it a lot.
But whether you're black or not?
Yeah, because some of my black friends say that I am. Some of my black friends say that I'm not.
Yeah.
I mean, I just choose not to really talk about it much. I don't really care about it.
But if police are pulling over
in that
people
way,
because they're black,
I could see it. Maybe.
They're more likely to see you as black than him.
Yeah, for sure.
So if you're ever driving with him, let him drive. You be the passenger.
Yeah.
So you listen to black people talk about getting pulled over by black, right?
Yeah.
What do you think about it?
I've had some friends tell me some stories to actually back it up, and
wait, what stories do they tell you?
Wait,
can you blacken the screen for a second, Izzy? Yeah, what do they tell you?
So one of my black friends at home, was in a parking lot, okay,
Yeah.
with a friend, and a cop came by and literally pulled him out the car and put him in handcuffs, although he was just parked there with his friend. Like,
Yeah, but was
it
there a
seemed
reason for it?
yeah, it seemed excessive, is what he said in his manner, because he's like one of the nicest guys I know. So like I know he wouldn't do something erratic or stupid. Like,
Dude, but that means nothing. What happened that the cop pulled him over? Was there like an armed robbery that just took place, and they said the guy was in this car? And
no, it's just like a
Well, you don't
normal
know that,
night.
though.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, you don't know.
Yeah.
You can't trust your friend, because your friend's gonna be like, he's gonna embellish a story.
Right, yeah.
Okay, bro. How about you? Yeah. What do you know about driving while black, or brown, really?
I don't know much.
Do you hear people talking about it?
I do, yeah.
So as a white guy, like, do you think about it? Do you believe it? Do you like what do you say to yourself? What story do you tell yourself?
What do you mean, what story do I tell myself?
Well, like what story? Like when you hear people talking about it, do your ears open up or do your ears close down?
Yeah, I would say my ears usually open up.
Uh-huh.
I mean, there have been several incidents that were pretty prevalent, like in 2020 with George Floyd, and just several cops abusing black innocents.
Yeah, but if you talk to any black person in the class,
Yeah.
dude, hang on. Here. I'm going to just pick somebody out randomly. Bro, I'm going to pick you out. Driving while black. Is it a thing?
Yeah, it's a thing.
Yeah, all right, dude, it's a thing. Is it a thing, bro?
Yes.
What do you mean it's a thing?
What do you mean?
How often do you talk about this with your black friends?
Probably often. Yeah.
Pretty often?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, and I could walk around. Bro, is it a thing? Okay, it's a thing. So that means it's happening, but you're not really tuned into it. You don't need to be tuned into it, or are you tuned in? I guess I'm asking you that. Like, how are you tuned into it?
I would say it's not something that like crosses my mind that often during
Okay.
the day. Like,
All right. Okay.
I don't give it too much thought.
Okay. All right, that's fair. Why should you, right? Do you give too much thought to Sisi over in Egypt? The president? Wait, we won't talk about him. I don't want to get you in trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah, Donald Trump's good friend. Do you give a lot of thought about, I don't know, the fact that, I don't know, who knows what? A lot of things you don't give a lot of thought about. You're a Christian, right?
Yeah. I'm Jake.
You're Jake.
Yeah.
All right. So you don't give a lot of thought about the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, by the way.
I give some thought about
Respect.
it for
All right.
sure. For
But I mean, there are a lot of things you don't give a lot of thought about. I guess what I'm trying to say to you, bro, is this, in other white people, you don't have to think about all this stuff. You're not a bad person. Like, if I'm asking Jake, like, what do you know about driving while black? And he's like, I don't know, I don't really think about it. It doesn't make you a bad person. Because black people in particular will try to throw this guilt stuff on. You should be thinking about it. Da, 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 da. It's like, well, black people aren't thinking about bro. Ready? What's going on in the Congo right now? Tell me everything you know.
I actually don't know.
You don't know?
Nah.
Dude, do you have a cell phone? Yeah. Here, let me show you your cell phone. Let me see your cell phone. You know what's going on in the Congo right now? There's a massive civil war. It's probably the third great war of Africa, where people are being genocided and slaughtered. Black people who look like you. Okay? And you know why? You know why? Because of the precious metals that are inside your cell phone. So you're participating in the slaughter of Africans in the Congo. And you don't know a damn thing about it. You know what I mean? Okay, and why do you need your old white man sociology teacher to tell you that? Like, what is that? Okay, so bro, the fact that you're not thinking about driving while black, whatever, it's okay. Yeah. It's cool, but now we're going to think about it. All right, so here, put this slide up. So we know that, okay, so we know it's a thing. Not because of your friend. Bro, I was driving down Route 80. This happened several years ago, my wife and I, and this car is pulled over. And we look at the car that's the police have it pulled over, right? And it's a black family, okay? It's a man and a woman. And we're like, I wonder if that's driving while black. Oh, okay. Other people were speeding. You know, I'm like, there are a lot of people speeding here. Why is that the only car that got pulled over? So I'm like, it's a DWB thing, okay? And then we're driving on the road, and this car comes out of effing nowhere. Must have been going 120 miles an hour. Boom, flew past us. And I was like, oh, shit, that's the same car. Same black people. And then we get down the road, and 20 miles down the road, they're pulled over again. And I'm like, there's a story. I got pulled over twice on Route 80 by the police for speeding. And do you think they're going to tell their friends they were speeding?
No.
Definitely, probably not. And I'm like, dog, not only were you speeding, you were so dangerously speeding that I was so happy to see you get pulled over again, right? So maybe that's your friend. You don't need, this is why, like, you can't, you don't need stories. But here's what you need. You got a 5-year study of the police by people who are studying this. So on the stream, people whose only job is to get to the truth. They don't care. They're not friends with people. They're not whatever. They're just trying to get to the truth. And they study traffic stops. And they conclude that DWBing, driving while black, definitely a thing. Driving while Hispanic, driving while Muslim, depends on, you're going to fit into a category, but you're kind of back and forth. Definitely a thing. Not a question. They looked at lots and lots of stuff. One thing they looked at is they looked at people who got pulled over right at twilight. Bro, right at twilight. Because, like, when you can't tell whether Yusef right here is white or black. In fact, we can't even tell whether he's white or black. You know what I mean? And he's pretty black. But right at dusk, it's like, I'm not really sure. So we look at that. And black people, there's a time at which it gets just dark enough where black people start getting pulled over at the same rate as white people. Dude, explain that. There's a lot of stuff to explain here, but explain that. And then guess what happened when these researchers, who just want to get to the truth, and they go and they talk to police agencies about it. What do the police agencies say? What do the police say? What do you think they say, bro?
They were just doing their job.
No. What do you think they say about learning this information?
I would say they are pretty ignorant to it and interesting. I don't know.
Okay, yeah, interesting. Yeah. It's news to us. Thanks for telling us. We want to get it right. Why do you think police are really so much different than anybody else? People want to get it right. I work with police. I talk with so many police. It's like they want to get it right. And by the way, bro, DWB for you, so you know, telling any of your black friends, the last thing you do with police when they pull you over is to tell them, you only pulled me over because I'm black. Don't ever say that shit. If I had $1 for every cop who told me, do never ever say that, because that just pisses them off, and you're much more likely to get a ticket. And these are black cops and brown cops and Egyptian cops and white cops and Chinese and Korean cops. Doesn't matter. But don't say that. Think it, but don't say it. That's just a PSA to black people, by the way. And you. So I have a PSA to you, since you may or may not be black. Okay. So we know we have some of this, right? Okay? All right, that's fair. Okay, here, we're going to go to the next one. All right, ready? So here's one way that we measure discrimination. We do these audit studies. So we would take you two guys who are very similar, and we'd put you in a similar situation, and we'd walk you through. We'd have you dress exactly alike, you would walk alike, everything about you would be the same. You'd shake hands the same way, you say hello the same way. You don't say, Jake here doesn't say, hey, what's up? And Yusuf says, hello, how are you? We train you to do the exact same things. Okay? Those are called audit studies or tester studies. And we find discrimination all over the place. There's a lot of it. Now, hang on. No, it's many places. We don't always know how much there is, but it's many places. Almost always when we do these audit studies, we find some degree of it. Okay? Sometimes there's more than other times, but we see it. Okay? Women, people who are gay, lesbian. So, and they did these audit studies with people buying homes and renting homes. And they would send you guys in to talk to a real estate agent, you and your white wife and you and your Egyptian wife, and maybe she's in hijabi, right? And you go in, we send you in. And you go one day, you go the next day, and you talk to the same agents, and you see things like how many houses did they offer you? Where did they offer to show you houses? How many rentals did they talk to you about? All these kinds of things, right? And what we find is that you, just across the board, you and me are going to get better treatment. And you will get better treatment than if you went in with your husband. If you went in with your wife versus a husband, like, again, we set testers up. You get better treatment, and we find discrimination. Okay? So we see this. Right now on the stream, what's going on is people are chatting, and they're going, yeah, but what about this, and what about that? There's no what about this. We've controlled for everything you can control for, and we find discrimination. Okay? Is it the most horrible thing that they show you 6 rentals, and they show him, on average, they show people that look like you 6 rentals, and they show people that look like him 4 rentals? Nah, whatever. It's not the biggest thing. Huh. But we know there's discrimination in housing, okay? All right, so here, bro, so we're going to have you guys talk to each other now. Sit in the chairs facing each other. All right. You ready?
Ready.
Okay, so we're good, right? I didn't say there's tons of discrimination in housing. I didn't say every single person is getting discriminated against. I didn't say any of that. But what I said was we find discrimination, all right? Okay, so now we're going to go here's a story. This is a single story. I've already told you this is housing, okay? But I'm now going to tell you a single story. And then you're going to talk about this story, all right? So put the story up. This is, I forget her name. The husband's name is Paul. I think her name is Tamika, actually. Okay? They bought a house in California. And they bought the house for $550,000. Okay? They did a ton of renovations on it. And they got it appraised for $1.45 million. So this is a upper middle class family. These are professionals. This is just like any middle class family here. Maybe they're California. It's expensive out there. Maybe they're middle class, but for me, they would be rich with the neighborhood where I grew up. But they got the appraisal. Then interest rates went down to the ground, and they said, "Hey, let's get another appraisal. Let's refinance." So we got to get another appraisal. So they did. Came in at $1 million. It's like, what's that, man? And they couldn't get it. They said, wait, it's not $1 million. It's like, look, we were appraised last year for $1.5 million. It's $1 million. Nah, it's $1 million. That's what it is. And they wouldn't do anything. And so they whitewashed their house. Do you know what that means? Bro, you know what that means? What do you think it means? They whitewashed their house. The inside of their house.
They made it look like everyone who lived there was white.
Dude, exactly. Yep. They got photos from their friends. They took everything that was blackified, and nothing at all. There was no there were no djembe drums in the corner. There was like nothing, man. Okay, kente cloth, nothing at all. It was like, yep, this is a White House. Betty Crocker, the whole 9 yards. Okay. They bring the appraisers in, $1.5 million. So they sued, and they won. Okay? Now, here's the thing. When we get rid of DE&I, one of the things we're getting rid of is all the research that's telling us that this kind of stuff is going on. Okay? Not all of it, but a lot of it. They're telling people, hey, we're not going to fund more, people like me who apply for grants to study discrimination in housing and this kind of stuff. They're going to be like, we're not funding those grants anymore. We're not doing this, we're not doing that. 94% of home appraisers are white. Now, mind you, black and brown home appraisers discriminate also. So this isn't just a white people thing. But nonetheless, home appraisers, they're not going to have any more DE&I classes because we don't have that shit anymore. That's it. That's done. So they're not going to get any of that. So here's what I want you to do. You ready? Yeah. I want you to tell. This is Paul. Paul. He looks a little different than he looks up there. Yeah. But this is Paul. And I want you to tell Paul, explain to him how he and his wife should see this. D&I, this is a thing of the past, okay? It's going to go away, needs to go away, because it's discriminatory and it's all these things. And then we need to move beyond the divisiveness, because it's so divisive, right? And not going to be workshops and stuff for these home appraisers, whatever. I want you to explain to him why that's a good thing.
Do you want me to explain it like post-suing? Or?
Yeah, tell him right now, hey, sorry what happened to you, but
super optimistic here.
Go ahead.
All right, Paul. This is an excellent thing. Look, you're getting the benefit of the doubt here. You're making millions. So beforehand, now that you're actually winning the lawsuit, this is great news because you're just going up in the world. You got all the money in the family that you ever wanted. What else could you want? Just be grateful for what you have.
Awesome. Nice job, man. All right, Paul, what do you say to that?
I feel like my house should have just been appraised the way it was. Like, why'd you have to change it? Like,
well, he didn't change it. The appraisers did.
I don't know those guys.
Yeah, but it should have been, but it wasn't. So now you got to tell him something. You're representing.
Yeah.
Because remember, you're representing everybody in the country who's saying we don't need any of this DEI nonsense anymore. All this, it's divisive. It's a problem. We don't need any of it. Paul, whatever.
Well, Paul, we can't control the past, but we can control the future and where we're at today. So we can move forward from this right now. Yeah.
Dude, that was nice. Got any thoughts on that, Mr. Paul?
no, I guess I'm rich now, so.
It's all about you, too. You got your money.
Yeah.
Well, you don't have a choice but to move forward, right?
Right, yeah, I can't really do anything about it.
What do you think about the fact, though, that this stuff is still going to go on?
I mean, I guess I brought awareness to the situation.
You did with the lawsuit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm talking about it. These people know about it. Okay. But, oh well. Life moves on. Is that it? Like, how's it feel for you to, like, really, that's what you got to say to him?
It's kind of tough, I'm not going to lie. Like, I want to show him some empathy and, like, get where he's at and work through it with him, but I can't really do much other than tell him move forward.
Okay, how about this? How about the fact that you're not going to have that experience? If you go in with your Jesus One shirt on, right? Maybe someone's going to not like Christians, and you're going to get something, right? But you don't. You wouldn't wear that. Maybe you wouldn't wear this shirt. Maybe you would. Doesn't really matter. How's it feel like for you to like, yeah, you're probably never gonna have that experience. Unless you decide that you're gay and you get married to a guy, but since you're a Christian, you're less likely to do that, you know? So, like, how's it feel for you, though, like, to know that, Paul, you're probably never going to have the experience of this. Look at that family, man.
Yeah, Paul's a stud.
Dude, yeah. He's got a beautiful wife, 2 beautiful kids. Yeah. But, like, you don't have the driving while black thing. That's one thing you might get. You're probably never going to get pulled over, but you're probably never going to have that experience.
I'm blessed.
Yeah. That's it. I don't know. Do you have a final word? Because we're going to go on to our next segment.
Man, you can't file a lawsuit every time it happens. Like, you're not going to win every single one.
No, not at all.
So I guess there is a big disadvantage to that, which kind of sucks.
Yeah, I don't know. Look, for me, do you understand that for me, I don't know what the answer is. I'm just trying to have an honest and a thoughtful conversation about, like, what do we do about discrimination? What do we do about the discrimination that does occur when the message is coming across is like, yeah, stop talking about it. Stop doing it. Tell that to them, man. Tell it to them. Like, damn, you know, that's the thing. So next time anybody, you hear people talking about that, remember Paul, and again, I think her name is Tamika. Remember them. It's like, yeah, tell them to just, whatever, deal with it. You know, I don't know. It just feels kind of, yeah.
Do you think there is an answer?
I know. Listen, man, first off, no. The reason you never hear answers from me is because I'm not smart enough to give answers. I don't get paid enough to give answers. I get paid enough to confuse people, right? Yeah. I get paid enough, for example, to get you to say, like, what would Jesus do? You know what I mean? When you think about discrimination in DE&I, WWJD, my friend, what would Jesus do? Because they're probably Christians. They might be Muslims, by the way, but they're probably Christians. What would Jesus say? You know?
What would Jesus say to them?
Yeah. What would he say to the whole thing?
That's a tall task for you to ask me. Jesus would probably say something more profound than I would, but I think he would just love them regardless of where they're at.
Okay. And what would he tell them about their $500,000?
I think he would reassure them that it's not about the money. It's about the treasures that they can store up in heaven, not on this earth.
All right. That's fair. You could say that. I could say that. In the rich people, they get the treasures in heaven and they get the treasures on earth. But, you know, whatever. But that's the problem when you think it's all about money. I agree with that. I think that's fair. All right, y'all, listen, man. That's it. That's all I got for you. You know what I mean? Thanks, man. Nice job. Nice job. Yeah. Can we have a round of applause for these two guys? Yeah. Awesome, man. I really appreciate it. Yeah. Hey, can we have our next 3 folks? Do you ready?
Trying to be.
Angelo, man. Are we good? Yeah. Hey, why don't you give 3 and then you can use You can just sit up there. We're going to be here for a while. Hey, what'd you think about that? Renita? Wait, introduce yourselves first off.
I'm Renita. I'm a 3rd year, and I'm an accounting major.
Accounting major. All right.
My name's Angelo. I'm from Long Beach Island, New Jersey, and I'm a freshman.
Freshman. All right.
Hello. My name is Luke. I'm a 1st year, and I'm from Chicago.
2 Chicago people today. All right. Do you guys know each other, by the way, from Chicago? I'm just kidding, man. It's a big city. All right.
Where's he from?
Where are you from in Chicago? Plainfield.
I don't know where that is.
All right, yeah, it's a big city. All right, so listen, man. Hey, what'd you think about, Renita, what'd you think about that?
It was interesting. I mean, it was like different, and it was a new perspective. So, I mean, yeah,
Interesting.
yeah.
Bro, what'd you think about it? You better say it was effing masterful.
Can I say it?
Yeah.
Like say it?
No, go ahead. Wait.
Say it?
You say whatever you want to say, my friend.
No, I think you did a good job getting it out of him. Fostered it well, and I liked where it went.
What do you think about this?
Oh. Not really that fair to them for sure,
Yeah.
but at least they got their money for suing them.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
And then you got all the other people who don't. Luke, how about you? What'd you think about it?
I never really thought about this until now, but I could see it happening,
Yeah,
like in real life.
totally. Wait, what's your ancestry?
I'm Chinese.
Chinese. Yeah, definitely. It happens. And it happens against Chinese also. So, you know, that's not a... And you're Indian, right? Yeah. Indian American? Born here?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it happens against Indians also.
Yeah.
And dude, you're Italian? Angelo?
Yes, sir.
From Long Beach Island? Dude. All right. So here, let's do this, man. Hey, look, you need to know. I don't have an axe to grind, really. This guy, Guy knows. I don't have an axe to grind. I'm not trying to get people to see a certain thing, but I am so radically committed to fairness. I am so radically committed to fairness. And it's so disturbing to me when people when people overlook things about fairness. It's so disturbing to me. That kind of thing just disturbs me to the end of my leash, man. All right, go to the next slide. All right, read that. Angela, we're going to start with you. What do you, what comes to mind when you read the headline?
Could you explain the affirmative action?
Yeah, like, you know, in the case of universities, it would mean that when you apply to universities, you signaled that you're white, maybe Italian, you're from New Jersey, and so, you know, when they're deciding, the three of you, whether to accept you into a university.
I mean, I just think it's hard, like, you don't know, like, the backstory. These kids could be really good, and they don't get picked because they are black.
Yeah.
Or the white students or other students are just, like, doing better than them, and they're just being fair to everyone, and that's just how it plays out.
Yeah. All right. Well, here. Okay. Renita, how about you? What comes to mind here?
Honestly, it's just like it's not really fair per se. I feel like when it comes to like college admissions, like having like putting down your race like makes a big deal, and it adds more diversity to the college for self and like more personality, more perspective. So like that can be a negative impact in a way.
Okay. All right. Hey, Luke, here's a question for you. How much do you think it dipped? It says admissions dipped. Or enrollment dips.
Probably a few,
Few
Like-
percentage points.
like probably like 10% or something.
So how many black students do you think there are in what percentage of this is the class that enrolled in Harvard last September. So this is the class of 2028. What percentage of them do you think are black?
I would say a minority.
Like what? Give me a percentage. Give me a number.
Like probably like 20, 15%.
Well, let me just tell you this. Black people are 13% of the population in the United States. How many you think are Asians are 6% of the population? What percentage of Harvard's, of this class are Asian?
I'll probably say a higher amount,
What, give me a number.
like over 20.
Over 20. Renita, what percentage are Asian
At Harvard?
at Harvard?
I would say over like 25 maybe.
25%?
Yeah.
Bro, what do you think?
I'm going like 35.
35? Why 35?
Well, Asian people tend to be really smart, so like Harvard's a good school. Like,
Well, hang on. Are they really smart or they just study a lot?
I think it's because of like that one. They're raised that way. I know like a lot of Asians are raised like hardcore with grades and all that stuff.
So like these two right here, both Asian. Do you feel it?
You Asian?
I'm
From India. Okay, yeah, I got you.
Do you
India's
feel-
in Asia.
South Asia. Do you feel intimidated by them?
Like school-wise, yeah.
Yeah?
Like,
But you don't care because it doesn't matter.
I mean, we're all here. Like, we all got a good shot. I mean, it's whoever works the hardest.
No, it's not whoever works the hardest. Remember those people compared to those people. They can work hard, but you don't understand, on average. Remember the averages.
Yeah.
By the way, stream. Remember, I'm a sociologist. I'm always talking about averages, okay? Anything can be different. All right, so here, let me do this. So there are plenty of qualified people to fill Harvard's new class, okay? Which is like 1,200 or 1,400 or something. It's not very many people. If we go across the United States and we go to high schools all across the U.S. and across the world, because people are coming from all over the world to go to Harvard, we're going to find 5 times as many black students or Hispanic students or whatever it is, Asian, that are qualified to be at Harvard, okay? Because you can only be, like, let's just look at, let's just imagine that it's this class. In this entire room, hang on, I'm going to go back. I want to make sure that I'm really clear about this. If I just go to every high school in the United States and every high school in the U.S., and I pull out the smartest kid of different ancestry groups and we put them all together, it's pretty certain that pretty much any of those kids are going to be able to make it at Harvard, okay? And so, like, if you take an exam, the SAT exam, and Renita gets one question right more than you, like you miss one question more than her, are you dumber than her?
SAT-wise, yes, but no.
No, but it's one question, dude.
Oh, no.
It's just one question.
Yeah.
It doesn't, if he scores a perfect score on the SATs and you miss 2 questions on the math part, that's it, 2 questions, and he scores a perfect score, is he that much smarter than you?
No.
Would anybody argue that he is? Would anyone argue that he is? Would anyone argue that therefore he should go to Harvard and she shouldn't go to Harvard? Oh, she's not going to do well in Harvard because she missed 2 questions on the SATs. Or would you argue that she is not qualified to go to Harvard? Or that he's the only one who should get in because she missed 2 questions? Would you argue that, bro?
No.
So there's tons of kids who are available to go to. You could fill Harvard up with black kids, and they would be really, really, really smart, and you're not going to know a difference between the black kids. Next year, we only let black kids into Harvard. The smartest black kids, not only in the U.S., but around the country, wherever. Are you going to notice a difference? What do you think?
No.
Because why not?
Because they're all going to receive the same education. They're all qualified.
No, because you're going to be able to find really, really, really smart, qualified black kids.
Yeah.
And if the next year then we filled the whole Harvard incoming class with white kids, are you going to notice the difference between that year and the black kids?
No.
You don't think so? And the next year it was Asian kids, bro. Are you going to notice a difference? Probably not, right? Because there's so many kids that could do well. There's so many people in this room who easily could succeed could have succeeded at Harvard? Bro, even you.
Thank you.
Probably not, actually.
Probably not.
But all right. Well, we're good. But, they're both Asian, so we're going to give them the benefit of the doubt.
Sure.
But, you and I,
Nah, we don't got it.
All right. So listen, man. So you get the scene. I set it up for you, right? So it's not about, whatever. There are no black kids going to Harvard who don't deserve to go there. There's no Asian kids who don't deserve. Everyone who gets in, they deserve it. Okay, we're good. They're gonna be really smart. There aren't that many kids. It's the premier institution in the United States. Okay, all right. Go to the next slide. So the numbers in red are the percentage in the population. Okay, so here's the numbers. The Hispanic increase from the year. So this is last September. So the increase from the difference between September of 23 and September of 24, the Harvard class of 27 versus the Harvard class of 28, the Hispanic enrollment increased by 2%. Black enrollment decreased from 18 to 14%. And Asian remained the same. So you were on board. What did you say, 35%? 35? Yeah, you were close. All right, 37. Asians represent 6% of the population. That's what the red is. Hispanics, 20% of the population. Black people, 13%. White people, 58%. Okay, what do you make of these numbers? What jumps out for you when you see these numbers?
I mean, it's kind of surprising that the Hispanic enrollment increased, but the black enrollment decreased. I think that's
Well, Hispanic, and some of those Hispanics, they're Afro-Hispanics, right?
yeah.
Right, so.
It's just
okay.
surprising in a way.
What's surprising about it?
I feel like Hispanic is a very broad term, so it comes in many shapes and sizes, and also same with black. So
Okay,
why
hold the mic close. Yeah.
why is it different?
Okay, all right, that's one thing. Luke, how about you? What jumps out for you?
I think it shows that maybe black people have less opportunity.
Who has less opportunity?
Black people.
Black people?
Yeah.
Well, how do you say that? How do you conclude that?
Because it dropped, because the percentage dropped, and I know a lot of people who are qualified for a school, they don't get in maybe for money reasons or.
Yeah,
not.
if you're poor, if you get into Harvard and you're poor, they give you a full ride, my friend. Okay? So, yeah, it's not, yeah. Okay, wait, hang on. So I want to go there. Wait, black people have less something. Dude, can you just be the white guy who doesn't can you just be the guy who doesn't care what anybody thinks? No one's going to cancel you. What do you make of those? What do you make of the black numbers?
I just think it's fascinating that Asians being 37% of Harvard, and they're the least populated in the country. That's impressive.
We're going to go to that in a second. Can you go to the black numbers?
It dropped for sure. Well, 13% of the country, 14% of Harvard, that's rational.
Dude, wait, why do you think that black people are having a problem, are losing something? How was it that the year before they were 18% of the incoming class of Harvard? They're only 13% of the population. Where's the racism against black people? It's they're still at 14%. It's where's the problem? What would black people be complaining about? Can you go back one slide? So if you look at this without those numbers, it's here's what happened. So Harvard was told that they can no longer use race as the deciding factor in their deciding who they're going to admit into Harvard. Okay? The Supreme Court decided that. By the way, it was Koreans and Chinese who pushed that forward, by the way, which we're going to talk about in a hot minute. All right? It's we're not going to. It wasn't, secondarily, it was white people, but first and foremost, it was Koreans and Chinese. Because, okay, so when you read this, you think black people, oh, damn, what you said, right? Yep. Yeah, that's what you said. All right, go to the next slide. And then you see this, wait, how'd you get to 18% at all? Wait. How'd they get to 18% in the first place? Dude, we've already said Harvard has there were probably 5,000 people who were on that. We absolutely could accept these 5,000 people into Harvard. There's 10,000 probably, but 5,000 that we could grab any of them, and you can't rank them anymore. You can, at some point in time, you gotta stop ranking. Do you know how many people score perfect scores on the SATs? You can't rank them anymore. Like, how are you gonna rank them? So we've got 5,000 people who Harvard has said, we can take any of these people, anybody, any of them. These are hot shot students who are gonna succeed, okay? Out of the 5,000, they decide their class. I'm just making that up, 5,000, okay? You get that. I don't know that it's 5,000, but I'm gonna assume it is. It's gonna be a number that big. They decide 18% of them are gonna be black. Is that fair?
No.
Why do you say no?
Because it shouldn't matter. Like, the amount.
Why shouldn't it matter?
Because it should be the qualities that matter. Like nothing else.
You know, but we've already said the qualities are. We've already said we got let's say 5,000 people who have the qualifications to get into Harvard. And they decided that 18% of them, they decided of all the people, we're going to choose all these people here. Like 1,400 of them, right? Turns out that 18% of them are black. Huh. Is that chance?
I mean, it could be, or like playing on the other side, it could also be like they have to fill like a demographic way, but you never know. Like, we want to believe that it was by chance.
Okay. All right. What do you think, bros?
I mean, if everyone's getting the same SAT scores, like it's pretty much what you do other than that deciphers you of like getting in.
Yeah, all sorts of other things,
Yeah.
right?
But
And I will guarantee if you read the applications of those 5,000 people, you and I, all four of us would say, yeah, that person, definitely, we could let them in.
yeah. I don't think that's like a rhyme or reason, but 13% of the population, 14% attendance, I think that's good.
Okay. What about white people? Do you feel some kind of way as a white guy? We're 50, almost 60% of the population. We're a third of the enrollees at Harvard. You can't find any white people that are like worthy of going to Harvard?
I mean, like within that 58%, like you got to think of people in the U.S. that don't have good educations, like because there's so many.
Dude, there's 5,000 people. Remember my pool of 5,000
Yeah.
people. They're all, they're right here.
Everyone's good.
Here's the pool.
Okay.
Imagine this is 5,000. Every single one of them is like, yeah, you're Harvard material, man. But
I mean, like we were talking about DEI, like diversity is good.
it seems like it's working at Harvard.
Yeah, for sure.
Because, like, you somehow figured out how to, like, somehow something's going on that people who look like us aren't like, matching our 58%. So it's like, all right. I don't know. You know, it's a thing. So Asians come along and say, hey, here, can you can we go one more? All right, here. No, go one more, actually. We're not going to have time. Go one more. Izzy. Yeah. All right, here. New York City, the top high schools in New York City, okay, for up until very recently, and to agree still, are based on test scores. That's it, man. Nothing else. It's test score. You take the test, the highest scores, we go boom, here's the cutoff, that's it, okay? Well, look what happened. Stuyvesant, top school. 73% of the students are Asian. okay? Bronx Science, 64%. Look how many at Stuyvesant are black and Hispanic, okay? 48% of New York City is black and Hispanic. So, bro, you all, but it's mostly him, by the way. Okay, sorry to say. It's South Asian, but it's cool. But, you know, y'all are into, but it's mostly Chinese and Koreans. So, what do you think we say to Chinese and Koreans? To say, like, yeah, you scored really high in the exam, but there's only like 3.5% of the enrollees are black and Hispanic. Or at Bronx Science, it's 8%, Brooklyn Tech, 14%. That's not enough. So, what could we say to you and your parents that would say, I know you scored really awesomely? Because, see, what happened is they're trying to break this system down at these top high schools in New York because there's too many Asians, too many people that look like you two. But again, in particular, Luke, too many of you. So we got to let other people in, get a fair shake. Even if they don't have the top score. So we're going to change it now so it's not just based on scores. We're going to change it so it's based on something else. How do you feel about that?
I'd say that's fair.
That's fair?
Yeah.
Wait, so if your parents, you and your parents, you study from day one, you're going to cram schools and you're going to after school stuff and you're studying and studying and studying and studying and working your tail off all year round to pass this test and do really well and get into a top-notch high school.
I believe test scores don't explain everything.
Okay,
so.
but they do in this case. And then they turn around and say, you know what? Hey, Luke, you spent your whole life doing that, but we're going to change it up on you because it's not fair to other people that you scored so well, that you worked so hard. How's that? Is that fair? Dude,
I think it's fair.
it's fair? Well, you're going to tell his parents, like, hey,
No,
man.
no, I think it's fair to like judge it off of SAT scores if that's what the school's going off of. And
It's not, well, this isn't SAT scores. It's a different exam.
sure, but if those kids are getting the highest scores and that's how the school works, that's how it should be.
Okay. So, people who are complaining, there are too many Asians, man. Y'all taking over, right? So if we went to only scores, and the top schools
Yeah.
are just more and more increasingly filled by people that look like your classmates, Renita and Luke, and not like you, man. Because they come from these cultures that are just jamming away at studying and boom, 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 man. The kind of thing that you and I probably wouldn't know about.
Yeah. You asked me if it's fair?
Yeah.
I think so. Like, they're putting in the work that I'm not, so they deserve it.
So we get Asianized.
Yeah.
Is that all right?
That's fine. I mean, if they're doing a great job, I'm all for it.
Dude, how is it for you?
I mean, like, coming from, like, a family that's, like, South Asian and, like, we're immigrants, like, I get the whole thing of, like, studying hard and everything, but I was never really the most academic person at my school. I went to a school that was, like, predominantly, like, East and South Asian, so a lot of my friends were East and South Asian, and so, like, their family would, like, enroll them in, like, $1,000, like, SAT prep and all of that, and I just have never been like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of learned, like, through college admissions and, like, taking the test, like, doing standardized testing. That's not my strong suit. My strong suit was, like, the essay.
Okay.
And when I was, like, interviewing for, like, other colleges, like, that was, like, my strong suit. So it could work, but I feel like if it was you're only studying for this test to get into this high school, yes, it's fair because you're putting the work down, you're doing all of that, but not everybody can have the opportunity to pay for those after school, like, test studying or, like, and all of that. So, like, obviously you need more, like, broader spectrums to, like, see how a student can grow and, like, how their learning style is.
Okay, but let me tell you something about Chinese and Koreans in New York. Like, bro, you got nice sneaks on here, right? But if you're an immigrant kid in New York City, let's say, your parents aren't buying you new sneaks. They're buying you study materials. They're not getting you the things. They're not buying you the new iPhone. They're buying you study material. They're paying for you to go to summer school all summer long. They're even poor people, it doesn't matter. You know, right? You know, right, bro? That's what they're putting their money into. It's not about being rich and poor. Even the poorest of the people are going like, nah, man, this is the most important thing in the world, and we're immigrants, and we're not immigrant, whatever, and that's where we're putting our money, man, nothing else. You don't get a new hoodie. You don't get a Philadelphia Eagles hoodie or a New York Jets hoodie. Well, nobody would want that anyway, but you know what I mean? So you got it? So it's not even about that. So then it becomes, all right, but that's fair. That's fine.
That they're spending their money on other stuff?
Yeah, that's what they do. That's the
Yeah.
only thing they want, man. Like, my kid is going to go to the top school,
sure.
and then they're going to go to a top college.
I like that. That's fair.
Okay. So she's going to say something. But so this is what people who are critiquing DE&I, right? This is what they're saying. That this is fair. Like, it's the thing. If you don't like it, then go enroll your kid into a study seminar or something. It's fair. So like, all right. So we've all agreed that it's fair. Doesn't matter that the black and Hispanic numbers are 3.5%, 8%, 14%. That doesn't matter. Study. Take your kids to some study seminars. Bro, do you have anything? Question? All right, hang on. Quick question. We got a quiz. Quiz? All right, hang on. Bro, do you have any comment to make? Did you take the Sunin exam, by the way? Wait, did you take the Sunin exam?
Did.
It's hard, right?
I scored pretty high, but I was a delinquent in high school.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
it's the only thing that actually worked for me.
So this idea of the fact that, you know, these kind of things become Asianized, you get that. Yeah. So this is the thing. This is the kind of stuff that we're wrestling with constantly, okay? All right. Hey, can we have a round of applause? Dude, nice job, man. Thank you. Hey, get your phones out, and we're going to do the quiz. Don't forget, a lot of you are just walking out without doing the quiz, so make sure you do the quiz. And we'll see you on Thursday. Dude.